We're learning new information about the terrifying minutes inside a Manhattan office building as a mass shooting unfolded. Police say 27-year-old Shane Devin Tamura calmly entered the lobby, shot and killed a police officer, then fired at 3 others, and within a minute disappeared inside the massive building. 4 people, including an off-duty police officer or a police officer working a paid security detail at the time, were killed. An NFL employee was wounded as well. CNN Chief Law Enforcement and Intelligence Analyst John Miller joins me now. So, John, we're learning new details about what happened when the shooter actually got to the 33rd floor. What are we learning?
He comes out on the 33rd floor, and how does he get there? When he goes into the elevator, the first floor, the lowest floor he can choose is 33 because he's entered the wrong elevator bank. He's trying to get to the NFL, but he hits 33, comes out and sees 2 glass walls on either side of the hallway, both doors locked. And then, according to the video, he appears increasingly frustrated. He shoots out one of the glass walls with his assault weapon and then kicks his way through the crystallized glass into the offices of Rudin Management. Now, Rudin Management isn't just a huge company that manages buildings all over the city. It's the management company of that building, and this is their headquarters. Once inside, the first person he sees is a cleaning lady who is very far down a corridor, and she yells something to him like, "I'm just the cleaning lady," and he opens fire on her and misses. It's interesting because in the video, you don't see him bring the scope up and take careful aim. He's shooting mostly from the hip. Then he goes hunting through the offices, which are largely empty. At this point, it's after 6:30. Most people have gone home. 2 workers, one has heard the shots and run to the men's room. Another has in the ladies' room. Rudin Management has done active shooter drills with their employees, and the safe rooms in their facility are actually the bathrooms. The thinking behind this was, we'll put Kevlar in the walls, we'll get lead doors, we'll have a dedicated video screen with a panoramic version of the hallway so you can see what's going on outside. So if another employee, say, runs to the now bolted door, you can see who it is on the other side to let them in. It has a dedicated phone line. Interesting for a company that's not high on the threat matrix that they had gone to so much trouble to plan for an event just like the unlikely one that occurred. And in one of those rooms, an employee, 27-year-old Julia Hyman, is inside and opens the door and steps out. Now we have to pause here to say why. We don't know. It could be because of the heavy insulation of the bulletproof room, the safe room, that she didn't hear the shots going on. It could be that the shots had stopped as he had gone from shooting his way into hunting mode and she was contemplating escape. We probably may never know that, but she gets about 4 steps out and he's down the hall but behind her and shoots her in the back. At that point, realizing apparently that there are no more viable targets up there, he turns the gun on himself and takes his own life. But there are so many scenarios that could have been so much worse had his plan gone as intended, walking into the NFL offices, finding a larger group of employees. It's just...
or even just showing up an hour earlier than he did, just given the time.
Would have been a game changer. That tells us something, by the way, Omar, which is a lot of the planning for this built through the month of June. Obtaining 500 rounds of ammunition, assorted weapons, selecting the target, and a lack of planning on the back end, contributes to why it didn't work the way he envisioned it, which would have been as terrible as it is worse.
Yeah. John Miller, appreciate the reporting, as always. Thanks for being here.
Thanks.
One of these victims, Julia Hyman, 27 years old, employee of Rudin Management, it appears that she was already in the ladies' room, possibly when the shots are fired, and may have not, because of the lead door and the lined walls, may have not heard clearly that there were shots fired or seen anything on the screen. But she opens the door, comes out. She doesn't know that the gunman is there, and he is several feet behind her, opens fire and kills her there. On that floor, they found 24 shell casings. In the lobby, 23 shell casings.
I mean, that's extraordinary. And I mean, just an aside, it's extraordinary that this business also had the wherewithal to have that kind of security, those safe places in place. That's unusual, though, isn't it?
It is. And, you know, they had planned for this. And so had the NYPD. Back when I was in the NYPD, we examined the Bataclan theater attack in Paris, where they hit multiple locations first. We examined the Charlie Hebdo attacks in Paris, where they attacked the newspaper office with active shooters. And we examined the Mumbai attacks, where they attacked multiple hotels, the train stations, set fires. And we built a system where we would be able to respond in layers. So when you look at the response to what happened at 345 Park Avenue, number one, the cops did what they're supposed to do. They moved in and they started to hunt for the gunman. Number two, when the SWAT team, ESU, Emergency Service Unit, got there, they were able to pull the regular police officers out and organized a systematic heavy weapons team to look for that gunman by exploiting the building's video systems, figure out what does he look like, get his picture out, send it out to every cop in the city, every cop in this building, every cop outside in case he tries to evacuate with victims. The Strategic Response Command came in as a second front of a long weapons team, and their job was to establish a safe corridor, a warm zone outside the hot zone where they could actually get to the wounded, get to the dying, and move them with medical personnel and force protection out. And technology played a part. I think we have a map that shows some photos, but as soon as they realized that was the gunman's car, they were able to not just look at the New York network of license plate cameras, but they were able to run that plate and trace it through license plate cameras that spotted it first, you know, on Route 80 in Loma, Colorado, then in Walcott, Indiana, then in Columbia, New Jersey at 4:24 p.m., then as it came into the city, and at the same time develop a tremendous amount of background and biographical data about the person who was a registered owner of that car to give them an idea of who are we looking for, what are the issues involved, and so on. And of course, in the car, they found additional weapon and hundreds more rounds. So we've learned a lot in the last few days about the shooting we were aware of and its terrible, tragic details, but in how many wheels were turning in so many directions as the NYPD switched on technology, training, practice to take this on.
Sure, those maps and the evidence all underscoring the lengths in which it appears the suspect went, and really appreciate that added information about the preparedness and where we are. I mean, it really says a lot about the state of affairs, not just in this country, or really globally, as it pertains to security measures being put in place at office buildings all around the world. John Miller, thank you so much.
Well, you've covered so many of these, you understand it.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much. Always enjoy your expertise. Appreciate it.